All right, everybody, welcome. This week is all about training our eyes to see, well, to see the invisible. We're going to be hunting for those hidden rhythms, those repetitions that shape literally everything around us. So let's jump right in. Our focus for week 12 is finding patterns. Okay, first up, just take a look at this. This is an incredible shot from Monaghan's Sandhill State Park. I mean, can you see how the wind has just carved these perfect wave-like lines right into the sand? It's amazing. This is really the heart of what a natural pattern is, right? It feels so organic, but at the same time, it's got this powerful, rhythmic structure that you can almost feel. So that gets you thinking, doesn't it? What on earth could these beautiful windswept dunes possibly have in common with, say, a giant city skyscraper? It seems like they're worlds apart. But the answer, well, it's the theme of our entire week, patterns. So let's dive into our first section, the world in patterns. The goal here is pretty simple, really. We're just going to start learning to see that rhythm all around you. Okay, so what are we actually looking for? Let's break it down. A pattern is just the geometric or rhythmic repetition of shapes, lines, or colors. That's it. It's this predictable arrangement, and I promise you, once you start looking for it through your camera lens, you are going to start seeing it absolutely everywhere. And this is what's so cool about it. Patterns are universal. You know, when you're in the city, you'll see them in the grid of windows on a building, right? Or the rhythmic lines painted on the street, or the symmetry in a bridge. But then you go out into nature, and bam! You find them in the veins of a leaf, the perfect spiral of a seashell, or those ripples in the sand we just saw. They're totally different worlds, but they're speaking the exact same visual language. Now, to really get a handle on the power of patterns in photography, I think we need to learn from a true master. So for section 2, we're going to look at the master's eye and get inspired by the one and only Henri Cartier-Bresson. You see, for Cartier-Bresson, photography wasn't just about feast stops and shutter speeds. No way. It was a way of life, a way of being truly present and connected. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? To take a photograph is to align the head, the eye, and the heart. It's about connecting what you think, what you see, and what you feel. And honestly, that's our real goal this week. And his life was, well, it was monumental. He actually started out with a painter's eye, which is super interesting. But then, in 1932, he gets his hands on a Leica camera. And this was a game changer. It was small, it was quiet, and it let him capture life as it was actually happening. This little camera led him to co-found the legendary Magnum Photos agency and, basically cemented his place as one of the most important photographers ever. And right here, this is his philosophy in action. Look at this shot from the Palais Royal Gardens. See, he's not just taking a picture of the trees. He's using the repeating patterns of the trees, the patterns of the paths, to create all these complex layers. It adds so much depth and pulls your eye right through the entire image. It's just masterful. And here's another one. Wow. The pattern these trees create lining the road is just so powerful. It's like a funnel, right? It creates this incredible sense of depth and just sucks your focus right down that path. This is what we're talking about when we say use pattern as a tool for composition, not just as the subject itself. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling inspired by the master. Now it's time to talk about your mission. Let's get into the nuts and bolts, the what, when, and how of your assignments. All right, here we go. This is your checklist, your recipe for a perfect submission. Super simple. You need the due date, a unique title that you come up with, your single best photo that shows patterns, a good description, we're talking at least 5 sentences, and of course, you gotta participate in the in-class critique.
Okay, listen up, because this is important. The deadlines are different depending on your class. So if you're in classes 1A to 4A, you're due on Monday. If you're in 5B to 8B, your deadline is Tuesday. Got it? Monday for the A classes, Tuesday for the B classes. Definitely make a note of that.
Submitting your work is just a simple 4-step process. Step 1, go out there and shoot. Find those patterns. Step 2, look through your photos, pick your absolute best one, and rename the file. We'll talk about how in a second. Step 3, save that renamed photo to your Google Drive. And step 4, post it to your class blog. That's it. Post it to the blog, and you're done. Okay, let's talk about that file name. This part is absolutely crucial, so please listen carefully. The format has to be exactly like this. Your first name, a dash. Your last name, a dash, your period number, another dash, and then whatever title you gave your photo. No spaces, no funny business, just dashes.
So for example, let's say Taylor Swift was in my period 1 class, and she titled her photo Patterns. Her file name would look just like this: Taylor Swift P1 Patterns. See how that works? Getting this right is probably the easiest way to lock in some points on this assignment.
And speaking of points, let's roll into our last section, how to succeed. Look, this isn't a secret. It's just a simple blueprint for how to get full points.
The whole thing is worth 10 points. Here's how it breaks down. The biggest piece of the pie, 4 points, is just for having a complete blog post. Did you include everything on the checklist? Boom, 4 points. The other 6 points are split up. 2 points for making sure your photo actually fits the theme, 2 points for getting that file name right, and 2 points for your creative effort.
So think about it. Just completing the blog post and getting the file name right, that's 6 out of the 10 points right there. That's the stuff you can totally control. The other 4 points, that's where your creativity really shines. That's about finding a photo that truly screams patterns and shows that you went out there and found something really unique. So let's bring this all back home, back to the words of our guide, Cartier-Bresson. Remember, he didn't see the camera as some complicated machine. For him, it was a sketchbook, an instrument for intuition and spontaneity. And that's the mindset I really want you to take with you this week. Don't overthink it, be intuitive, be spontaneous. So as you go out there with your camera, your sketchbook, there's really only one question left to answer. What patterns will your sketchbook reveal? Not just about the world, but about the way you see it. I seriously can't wait to see what you all come up with. Good luck!